Social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are.
What happened with Shannon Sharpe? I'm gonna ask a quick question before you kick me out the thing.
Shannon Sharpe is being accused of taking the cheeks and being.
Wait. Hold on. Before you.
Well, let me pull it. Let me pull in the video. Let me pull in the article real quick.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my. I gotta just. I wasn't expecting that. It caught me off guard.
I wasn't expecting either. You know.
Well, I was getting ready to drink my tea. I was getting ready to drink my Arizona Ice herbal tea, and I choked on it, and I haven't even had it yet. So I didn't expect you to say that. I thought you was gonna say he got into an argument with somebody or something. But
I thought so too, man.
Have ruined. And we usually talk about stuff, all the way. But yeah.
Oh no, we're gonna. Okay, so let me. Do I have the video? Okay, so here it is right here.
And the way you
this is somebody.
The way you phrased it makes me not want to delve into this. The way you phrased it, you didn't phrase it right.
Shannon Sharpe is being accused of being a cheek taker, taking the cheeks.
Oh Lord, not big country, not big country. Oh
big country
Lord,
being accused of it.
Not big country. Oh Lord.
So I don't know how I feel. I've actually only watched one response to it. I really wanted to hear, read the report, read the lawsuit, whatever. But in the meantime, between time, you want to jump on this?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about why he should have been in the movie Life. Oh, Jesus.
Life. You're so dumb, man. You're so stupid. All right, let's go.
Oh, Lord, he got it. It got to be true.
I don't know, man. I don't know really. Hold on, let me drop my music real quick. I need to get epidemic sounds like that Mike told me about a long time ago. All right, music is off. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so this is
sounds like a.
Go ahead.
I'll just say, never mind. Just play the video. This is crazy.
All right, let's go. One in the chat when you can hear.
NFL Hall of Fame football player and podcaster extraordinaire Shannon Sharpe is being accused of sexual assault. I think this allegation is 100% false, and there's quite a few reasons why I think this way. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Shannon Sharpe being accused of sexual assault from one woman on two different instances. One in 2024 and one this year, 2025. Now, can I sit here and say that the allegation is false? I can't say that with 100% certainty, but if you ask my opinion, if you ask for my viewpoint, my take, my 2 cents, I think this is 100% false. And there's quite a few reasons why I think that way. First of all, if you watch Shannon Sharpe's shows, you watch Nightcap with Ocho, you watch Club Shay Shay, you watch First Take, he often talks about protecting himself, not doing things to get himself in trouble. An example, he'll talk about going on a first date with a woman, and then she's ready to go ahead and go do something else. If you understand what I'm talking about, he's like, nah, let's not do that right now. Let's not do it right now. Let's do it the next time because I don't want to get in trouble. Same thing, talking about going to get a massage and getting something extra. It's like, no. If I go for service A, I'm only going to get service A. I'm not going to get service B and C and all kind of weird stuff. I'm good. Shannon Sharpe goes through a lot of things from what he says to keep himself out of trouble.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. What you think about that so far, Mike?
Okay, so there have been many if you're ever in the podcast streets, and you are, there have been many accusations about this prior to this report. There have been many jokes about it. So the thing is with a few things, with being a celebrity, with being an athlete, there's nothing that's off the table. Unfortunately, you're exposed to a great deal of things that we'll never experience and never hope to experience. And so there has been some chatter about a great deal of this because when we came up, we didn't have social media. So things like this that were happening, we didn't find out about until it was too late to know about it.
Way too late.
But
right.
unfortunately, like now, it comes out a lot faster. The information gets out so much quicker, and you can't keep a secret. I mean, there's just no way to keep this information quiet. $50 million is a lot to claim for a lie. I don't know. I can't name any other lawsuits off the top of my head other than Juicy Smollett, who had the unfortunate incident of being found out that the two in the middle of the night imaginary MAGA guys in the middle of Chicago in negative 20-degree weather was mugging him. But this is not something that this is not a rabbit hole we want to go down.
No, for sure.
I think that this is weird.
So I'm wondering if, well, first of all, I'm not going to say just because Shannon Sharpe says he covers all his bases, that doesn't mean anything. Shannon Sharpe is a sinner, just like I'm a sinner. So, and he don't have Christ. So I don't assume.
Well, we know the Instagram live with Michelle lets us know that that's not true.
Right.
I mean, yeah. So that's not the truth.
Wait, Michelle, tell me that. Remember? Wait, which one's that again? Remind me. I'm getting old.
Where he accidentally went live during a specific action.
Facts. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we know. So we know. I mean, you can't say, "Yeah, I cover all my tracks." No, you didn't even lock your phone. I remember now. Yeah, you didn't even lock your phone. You can't cover all your tracks if you don't even lock your phone, my guy. Yeah,
my guy,
making noises and stuff. Yeah,
right. No. So one, I'm not going to just because he says he covers his bases, that doesn't mean a thing to me. Is this possible? Absolutely. Do I want it to be possible? I don't care. No. It doesn't matter. Did he violate this person? I don't know. Will the truth come out? That's what I want to happen, because I think more sadly what'll happen, this will look a lot like what happened with Diddy, where remember Cassie went after 30 million right off the bat, and he didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to settle it, and then that lawsuit came out. Then the next day he went ahead and settled it. So I'm wondering if this is a shakedown, just my little 2 cents. Because him and Chad Ochocinco just got paid humongously for their podcast. So
right.
I'm wondering, and he had a banner year last year. We've talked about that multiple times.
I mean, from what I just basically tried to look up, I think the issue comes that it's not hard to be in today's vernacular society. It's not hard to be in a relationship or a situationship or whatever the word is one day and the next day be totally out of it, and that can be flipped and turned around so fast that now you got to wade through the water and try to figure out who's telling the truth and who's not.
Right.
Especially athletes are notoriously known for being accused of this. Some of them have been convicted. And so having the idea that you're even remotely associated with this is not a good look, because it's not hard to get the people to doubt,
who you are.
Activity. Yeah, it's not hard. All they can do is go back to your podcast and go back through some of the stories you've told and go back through some of the instances that you had and say, okay, well, you're pretty aggressive on the podcast. You're pretty aggressive when you at the Lakers game. You're pretty aggressive all the time. It's not hard to you're a fun-loving guy, but you can go back to the arguments you used to have with Skip Bayless online and how vocal you were about your support for LeBron James and so it's like it's not too far-fetched for somebody to come up and just say do it. And we don't look at you side-eyed and be like right off the rip. We don't just automatically say, nah, it couldn't have been him. We just automatically start thinking, well, could it have been,
Yeah.
So
real quick, I want to bring in what Sherry says here, because I know that his attorney is going to probably change a lot of your perception as well, Mike. And so Sherry, shout out to Sherry Britton, doing something consensual and going live accidentally is different from R&S accusations. I agree 100%. All I was saying was he positions himself as he does he checks all these boxes to make sure that he doesn't get into a problem. But he didn't lock his phone when he was allegedly, doing the grown folks. That was it. Right. I'm not saying that because he didn't lock his phone, I know he did this action.
No.
I was
We
only
were just saying his affirmation is that I cover myself well.
Right, but
I
you ain't
don't
lock
get
your
caught
phone,
up
my
in these
dude.
situations.
Right, but
Bro,
your phone was
it
unlocked.
should be live. Yeah,
And it went
Yeah.
live. So I mean, there's a lot of steps in there.
And then let's not even forget the fact that after it went live and after everything came out, you did an endorsement for an enhancement
Yep.
drug right after that. So at that point, it's like, okay, well, I'm not trying to put nothing on you. It's just there's too much things happening that you can't just say I cover myself well. So that's what we were saying. We weren't saying we were accusing him of anything. Miss Sherry, Sherry,
Britain. And then also she says her
Britain,
attorney is the same shakedown attorney stalking celebrities. That's what we're going to hear in a second as well. And I think that's going to be the super problematic one for me. That I not problematic, but I think that's going to be the part that really causes people to look at this story's side-eye, because of the particular attorney has a propensity. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say this is the guy that was going after Jay-Z recently. So he's got a track record. Somebody asked who Mike is. Mike is a friend of the channel. Piggy Doo. He is White Label Consulting. Let me drop that link again in the chat. And he does a great job of helping people with their live streams and making sure that they look fantastic. So he just so happened to be in the chat. So we just jumped on to talk about this. Let's get done before
wait.
Whoa.
I know. There's a comment. It said you can't really base people's character. It's by Orphan.
I got it right here.
I guess that's what it is. Yeah. It says you can't really base people's character just by what they say or do in front of the cam. Plenty of horrible people when camera goes off. Absolutely. You're right. But because we agree. But because we work in the podcast area and film, and we spend a lot of time on camera, and we spend a lot of time assessing what people do. And my job is I work for live streaming. You can't also ignore some of their behavior on camera as well. So it's not to say again that he's guilty of anything because of him being a podcaster, but it is to say that nothing is off the table when you're talking about this type of accusation. It's all going to be reviewed. If we was talking about he stole my cat, or he was talking about he stole gas out my car, that's one thing. But this allegation, which is everything has to be on the table, and their conduct is going to come into it, just like the individual who's accusing their conduct is going to come into it too. Just like we're about to review the lawyer, his conduct's about to come into it. So nothing is off the table when you're making this accusation. Everything is reviewable. Everything is on the table because it's that serious. Okay.
And let me also just add that we are not saying that Shannon Sharpe is guilty of anything.
Not at all.
We're only looking at this and just critiquing it and giving our 2 cents. We are not making a final judgment on Shannon. Y'all know here on this channel, I like Shannon Sharpe. But again, I'm not judging him. I'm not going to make some final, throw him in the jail. He needs to get fitted for an orange jumpsuit. All I'm saying is we're just looking at this information and parsing it out. We are not the 12 jurors, the defense team, the prosecution, the judge, none of that stuff. We are just listening to it and trying to make heads or tails, because there's going to be more information coming out. So we're just literally listening to this gentleman and just chopping it up. All right, let's keep it going. Let's go.
And I think he's done a good job at that. He is 56 years old. I've not heard anything like this about him ever. Now, all of a sudden, he's big, popular, and more rich, wealthy, whatever, than he was when he was playing football.
Fact.
All of a sudden, now there's a lawsuit. I call BS. Now, before I go any further into it, let's just get to what I got. There's a lot we got to show. First of all, there's Shannon Sharpe. Okay, y'all know who he is. Y'all see him on ESPN First Take. You see him on Club Shay Shay. The Cat Williams interview broke the entire internet. You see him on the Nightcap podcast with Ocho. Sometimes they got a guest like Joe Johnson. Shout out to ISO Joe. Who is the lawyer bringing the case against him? Anybody want to guess? This character right here, Tony Busby. Now, Tony Busby has a pattern of doing this. And when I say this, I mean harassing Black male entertainers specifically. Because the first guy that I saw, Deshaun Watson, NFL football player, talking about 23 women accused him of sexual assault from massage parlors, and he paid out some money. it was like $20 million. Everybody, in theory, would get $1 million probably before he takes his cut. Speaking about Tony Busby. And this picture right here, I think was from the presser when he was talking about Puff Daddy and Jay-Z, because he was trying to sue them as well. Again, more black male entertainers. You got 2 football players and 2 rappers. What you want to get next? You want to get comedians next? You have a step and repeat banner behind you with a 1-800 number. Please stop. You are an ambulance chaser at best, in my humble opinion. Look, I don't want to be the next black male entertainer that Tony Busby sues. So please pardon my cautious language. You understand what I'm saying? But look, I called this. This is a tweet from October the 1st, 2024 from yours truly, ABL. I wonder what popular black entertainer will fall into Tony Busby's crosshairs next. And of course, I said figuratively and allegedly, because again, I don't want to be the next black male entertainer to get sued. Okay. But then again, I might not be the target because I'm not a multi-millionaire like these guys are. You know, you sue me, but you're gonna get my cell phone and my computer, and that's it. You won't get no money. But anyway, let's keep going. So let's go back to Deshaun Watson. Before we move forward, we gotta look at the whole history of Tony Busby. You see what it says right here: Deshaun Watson sexual assault lawsuit. Tony Busby says attempts to privately resolve litigation went on for 10 months. What does that mean? To settle and get my ambulance chaser money. That's what that means. That's what it means. And this is from September 11, 2024. So he began doing this kind of recently, within the past couple of years, or within the past year and a half, whatever it is, he's been doing this. Okay. And this is from 2022. So it's been a little while, about 3 years. Around 10 of the women who accused Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct expected to attend his Cleveland Browns debut versus Houston, according to Tony Busby. So Tony Busby had the plan. I don't know if he did it. His plan was to bring the women who were accusing him of sexual assault to one of his football games. Is that what you want to do? You want to go to a game where he's playing? If you say that he did something to you, rather than going to his game, why you don't go to the police? We're going to see that none of these cases he's bringing are anything other than civil litigation with no criminal prosecution to back it up at all. None whatsoever. Because Deshaun Watson wound up paying $20-something million, but didn't get locked up, and he's still playing football right now. Let's keep going. Let's go to Jay-Z. Attorney Tony Busby withdraws sexual assault lawsuit against Jay-Z. Now, there was a lawsuit against Puff at first, and then he just put Jay-Z in it. Now, I think the thought process here was, since Puff is in jail right now because of some other stuff, some sexual stuff, it'd be believable to say that Puff did something with somebody and try to get some money. And then maybe the thought process was, okay, Jay-Z and Puff are friends, therefore I can just put him in there. He got a lot of money. He's a billionaire. Let me just get money from him from a settlement. Okay, that was the allegation. That was probably the thought process behind the allegation, but Jay-Z fought back. And ultimately, the whole thing got withdrawn. Now, look, Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs, assault lawsuit dropped, and it says Tony Busby, a lawyer for the Jane Doe accuser, who's filed several lawsuits on behalf of accusers advancing sexual assault allegations against Combs, moved to voluntarily dismiss the lawsuit. Let's keep going. Judge weighs merits of Jay-Z's extortion lawsuit against attorney Tony Busby. The rapper, assuming the Houston-based lawyer for extortion and defamation, stemming from a lawsuit that was filed and then quickly dropped, which accused Jay-Z of assaulting a 13-year-old girl. Okay, so Jay-Z was like, nah, we're not going to do that. You're not going to just make allegations like that and I not fight back. You're not going to just get settlement money out of me. Not only will you drop the lawsuit, I'm going to sue you for damaging my name. Right on, Jay-Z. Right on. Okay, and he's suing the Jane Doe.
Okay, so let me, before this has gone a little bit long, so I meant to stop. What do you think so far? Do you think that now does this change any of your thoughts pertaining to this? What we've heard so far? We still got to hear the facts, but does this at all play into it?
No, I mean it plays into exactly what we were getting ready to say. Everything has to be examined, and the fact that obviously what I commented on as far as Shannon Sharpe is just what I've seen of him and why there could be, without hearing everything, some hesitation to just dismiss the case, but also this
Right.
gives you another viewpoint on why maybe not take it as serious as we need to take it, because all of this is on the table. Shady lawyer, money hungry, mainly goes after seemingly African American stars, and then does questionable business practices, and usually gets them to. It seems like he gets them to acquiesce by pressure to pay out a lawsuit, so they don't have to drag on this long trial. It
You're
all
right.
plays into it, and so yes, that this is all part of the process. So I hope anybody didn't feel like me or you or myself, because I was doing a lot of talking, have put anything out there on Shannon Sharpe. Please forgive me if you thought that's what I was saying. All I was saying is that everything is reviewable for something this serious. And
Right.
if that's the lawyer that they picked, and this is the tactics that he uses, then obviously perception is going to be they're going to have to fight a very, very uphill battle. If this was a consensual relationship and it didn't go the way she wanted it to, and didn't get the money that she wanted it to, or and I'm not saying that in the sense of she was gold digger, but if there was something that she was looking for in a relationship and it didn't happen in that way, this was the next logical way to get back at a celebrity, is to accuse them of something that's really hard to get rid of. Once you've been accused of it, it's like it doesn't come off. It's not like
Right.
it's not like
Well,
you're gonna accuse anything violence or anything anything that is going to be something against a female is going to be very, very hard to shake off. And while they may completely get rid of this tomorrow, there's still going to be this guy was accused of this. This guy was accused. Any offense towards a woman is going to be hard to get rid of. So this is not even, and there's no, far as I know, and you could correct me if I'm wrong because you do a lot of legal stuff, there's no punishment that I know of yet for somebody falsely accusing somebody.
we need to change that. That needs to be changed, in my opinion.
Like there's a whole Me Too movement, but what about a YouTube movement? You did it,
Right.
you lied,
Right.
so yeah, so we're gonna put you in jail for however long we was accusing the person. You get that time. There's nothing that can offset this accusation. So
let me give an example. I hope this works. So in the NFL, since Shannon Sharpe is an NFL player, in the NFL, many fouls that at one time were just immediately fouls. You throw the yellow flag and just go ahead and take your 10-yard penalty, whatever. Now they are reviewable. So you might see a touchdown and you just know it's a touchdown. You done painted your face, you're dancing around, throwing your beer in the air, but it now is under review. They have to look over it and double, triple check it. So even though you thought, oh man, it was right on the money, when you see the slow motion, when you see the review, you're like, oh, his foot was out of line, out of bounds, or whatever like that. 10 years ago, it would have been a touchdown. Now is a review. So I think in this case right here, nobody's end zone dancing. Nobody's saying that this guy is innocent or this guy's guilty. We're just saying, hey, it's up for review. They're going to review it and it needs to get properly adjudicated. Now, if you have a referee who's notorious for making some bad calls, that's going to make you come, hey, this is the head referee, and he's notorious for making bad calls and notorious for turning it over in order to side with whoever he's working with. That could come into play. So I think that's all we're saying here. I don't think anybody, just kind of scanning the chat, I think most of us are in agreement that innocent until proven guilty. We're not doing guilty until we think you're not guilty. All right, let's finish this up.
But
go ahead.
Yeah, it's just really tough with this particular subject. It's probably one of the few offenses that you can be accused of to where you do have to prove your innocence, and that is really, really unfortunate to have to deal with from any perspective. And I know obviously the way society is, they're going to spin it into race is going to come into play, and so that's going to make it even more complicated. But just from the aspect of an individual who is just operating their life and in front of the camera in public, like this is just unfortunate in the sense of it may go away tomorrow. We may find that this whole thing is a sham, but the residue of this doesn't go away. There's no way to even deal with this. And like I said, I wish there was some way that that the accusers, and it doesn't matter your sex or what you are, anybody being falsely accused of something, the accuser, if they're found that they're lying or not telling the truth, there should be some type of harsh penalty to discourage other people from trying that same bootleg mess. But there's nothing out there to do that. Nothing.
I got you. I agree, brother. All right, let's keep this going. Do you think they were using the fake intel thing? Let's keep this rolling because I want to finish this. Let's roll.
This should have been where Busby stopped, because obviously these guys not going to take your bullying. They're not going to take you just trying to get money from them. They're not going to do that. You're going to end up losing ultimately. He should have stopped right here, but I guess the money from Shannon was too much. And here's where he's not able to even practice law in New York. Speaking about Busby, okay,
hey,
you can see that right there. You could pause it. I'll link to all these in the box. Okay, so look, this article was published April 19th, just 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
Shannon
about.
Sharpe seeking $100 million podcast deal that blows away NFL career earnings. Okay, just 2 days ago, this was published. And then look at this. Okay, another one for the same thing. This was published April 18th. Okay, but look at this. Now he's being sued for $50 million. How convenient. Just 2 days later, 3 days later, he's being sued for exactly half of the rumored podcast deal money. Imagine that. Imagine that. And no way this could be somehow fake or phony. No way, right? Okay, let's read some of this. And again, I'll link to everything in the box. The Jane Doe met Sharpe in 2023 at a gym in LA when she was 20 years old and he was in his mid-50s. You stated in the docs during her first encounter with him, Sharpe told her he would buy her fake breasts if she won a weight loss competition with him. Okay. She wrote in the suit, Sharpe proceeded to pursue her relentlessly, calling, texting, and demanding she come to his Beverly Glen mansion. The woman stated she and the former Denver Broncos tight end ultimately got into a consensual relationship, though she described it as controlling and abusive. Well, what that got to do with it? If you guys allegedly, again, this is just a story from a person. It could be anybody. It could be a man writing this. It could have been Busby himself writing this. The person might not even exist. The so-called Jane Doe might not even exist. This is a story I'm reading right now.
Dang, that would be dirty.
So you're in a relationship, but it's controlling and abusive. Okay. He demanded complete control over her time and body. Attorney Tony Busby, again, this is his deal. Tony Busby wrote that in Doe's suit, expecting her to be at his house on his schedule at his command whenever he called. Well, if that is true, which again, I don't think any of it is, but if it is, you're an adult, you can say yes or no. Doe claimed there was one argument in particular that terrified her when he yelled at her while a firearm was visible in the room. Now you're trying to say you got guns. So you're doing way too much. I hope Shannon fights this. I hope he does, because Tony Busby needs to be stopped. You can't just keep doing stuff like this, making these allegations that completely stink of being fake. But anyway, plaintiff tried sharing her location with friends from her iPhone just in case, the doc state. But Sharpe saw her doing this. The moment he realized what she was doing, he grabbed her by the neck and told her, if you ever do that again, I'll effing kill you. The two nevertheless continued the relationship, even following a move by both to Nevada during the summer of 2024. However, Doe states in her suit, she attempted to break things off after his infamous Instagram live streaming incident where he got caught hunching allegedly. My Michelle, y'all know what I'm talking about, which she said led to him assaulting her. That's what caused it. Doe claimed in her suit the first instance happened in October 24 at her apartment. She said 56-year-old Pro Football Hall of Famer forced himself on her while she was crying and sobbing. The second instance, the suit alleges, happened a few weeks later in January 25. Doe claims Sharpe came over to her house with promises of delivering a Christmas and birthday gift to her, but instead assaulted her again, and she wants $50 million. Busby says it takes a great deal of courage to stand up against those with power, fame, and money. I look forward to pressing this case in court. And of course, no word from Sharpe. I'm sure the lawyers are going to be all over this. I'm sure Sharpe's lawyers are foaming at the mouth, chomping at the bit, because they cannot wait to get rid of this guy, Tony Busby. Now, as I close, I'm going to say this. Tony Busby, stop doing this, man. Really, seriously. Stop doing this. This is crazy. None of what you have been doing is working. The lawsuit against Puff and Jay, that fell apart. You got Deshaun Watson. Congratulations, I suppose. But Shannon, I don't know. I think this is bogus. And I think, again, my humble opinion, don't sue me, bro. Like I said, all you're going to get is an Apple iPhone. You're going to get a bag of chapstick and that's it. I don't got no money. But look, my opinion is that this is fake in an effort to try and get money in your pocket. That's it, and that's all. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about this lawsuit? Do you think it's real? You think it's fake? A money grab? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. How you feel about Tony Busby? Is he a stand-up guy, a great guy, not an ambulance chaser or an ambulance chaser? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know. Y'all know where I'm at. I think it's fake. I think it's a money grab. And people that do this, I don't care what color the person is, what color the accused is. I don't care. You got to stop doing this. You're ruining people's reputations. You're trying to steal money from them. This kind of behavior, if it's exposed and proven to be what it is, they should get the ultimate time in the penitentiary for this kind of behavior. Absolutely. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.
I don't know what all the hand movements were. I'm going to try that.
He does that every time, bro.
I've never paid attention to that. I'm going to do a quiet.
Video.
All right. Somebody said that Shannon has already put out a statement. I got Bible study at 8 o'clock. So I got 45 minutes. Did you find it?
It just says that it's a shakedown, and let me put it in here.
I don't think Shannon should say a word.
Well, no, it's from his lawyer. From what I see, it's
okay.
Oh,
never mind.
I put the link in the chat.
Private
I think
chat?
it's from his lawyer. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a shakedown, extortion.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Yeah,
Okay,
I don't think he said anything. He's probably not going to say anything.
Oh no,
He'd be smart not to say anything. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace. He does it all the time.
Okay, I don't think I've ever paid attention to that, man.
Yeah,
no, I have.
That's his thing.
All
everybody
right,
everybody has a stick or something.
I gotta turn off my what's called blocker.
Yeah,
this. I gotta turn off my ad blocker.
What are you using? Safari?
I'm in Chrome.
I got Brave. Brave has ad blockers up, and
I use Brave for.
I guess I could
brave enough to use Brave on a regular basis. That's not long here. Let me just real quick. All right, shout out to everybody. Thank y'all so much for jumping in. We're just analyzing, taking a quick survey, skimming across the top, not even across the top. We're about 2 feet above the water, skimming across this whole Shannon Sharpe scenario. And I got my brother Mike Williams from White Label Consulting in the building. Oh, you put it in the chat. What you do?
Yeah, I put it in the chat, but what?
Who allowed you to do that?
I have permissions on every YouTube channel in the world. What do you mean? Who allowed me to do it?
Man, we need to talk to security. I need to talk to security.
I am the head of security. You know what I mean? This Yarami, check a Fatu. Fatu, that's what I'm saying. You didn't know I could do that? Yeah.
All right. So Shannon Sharpe's lawyer calls lawsuit a shakedown and extortion.
I'll scroll down so you can read it.
All right. Can you you wouldn't by any chance be able to zoom in, could you?
Yeah. I know you
my eyes.
Oh,
come on. Yeah. Come on, Jesus. Yes. All right. Shannon Sharpe has gone on the offense. What was it? He was a defensive player, right?
No, offense. He played tight end.
He was tight end. Okay, I'm sorry.
He was one of the better receive tight ends that ever played. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's keep this going. Sued on Sunday for assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Sharpe has fired back. His lawyer, Lanny J. Davis, has issued a statement characterizing the civil suit as a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars and claiming the litigation has been orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby. All right, let's go. Wait.
Where you at?
Oh, I'm on second paragraph.
Okay. It is filled right there. Okay.
It is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, Davis says to the civil complaint, and will not succeed. Davis contends that the plaintiff secretly recorded the video of a consensual encounter and in order to falsely portray a consensual act as a non-consensual. Oh man, there is a tape out there. Oh Lord.
Okay. No, so whoever was watching us talk about this earlier, that's why we were saying that everything comes into account, because there are so with AI, with all the different ways, there's so many ways to spin this story to where if you guys were having a consensual moment that turned rough and then you guys broke up, then she can edit they can edit the video however they want, and now you have to argue, false, basically quote unquote evidence and emotion versus it's your word against hers, except she's got a doctored videotape. That's why we were saying earlier, all this stuff comes into review. And if you got a shady lawyer that's just a crook, this is not good if they know about this quote unquote piece of digital evidence. It's not good.
Absolutely. All right.
I don't know where you was at.
Dave, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Or you want me? Okay. Davis claims the video was heavily edited and taken entirely out of context, and that the plaintiff has refused to provide a copy of the full unedited version to Sharpe's lawyers. We already know this is going south. Davis adds that Sharpe believes her secret taping was all part of her plan set up as part of her blackmail scheme. Going down to the next portion, Davis also says that Sharpe categorically denies all allegation of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of R, and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious attempt to blackmail. Shannon Sharpe, through Davis, vows to fight these false claims vigorously in court. Based on Davis's statement, the case could, in many respects, boil down to a jury's interpretation of the video that was presented to Sharpe's lawyers and the unedited version. Sharpe will be automatically entitled to the raw video on request, and both sides will then have a chance to argue what it reflects and what it means. That's going to be a mess. Oh gosh, it's going to be so.
First of all, somebody put in the comment section, imagine being age 50 plus and having to record yourself in case you get sued. Why doesn't bro just get a girlfriend? That's the truth. You're a black male getting blackmailed. When are you going to figure this out, Shannon? Like,
well, I mean, we could have this discussion, because hey, if you weren't doing something outside the marriage bed, you wouldn't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about Lady Dear World Christian doing that.
Yeah, this is not. This is, and again, we're just stating observations. But goodness, you just had the Instagram instance not a few months back, and now this is the second time that you've been in a scenario where a videotape is involved. Let's just say it like that. Where
some kind of digital, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Digital evidence, right? So, and the girl is 30 years younger than you, according to the lawsuit. Man, this is crazy.
Let's keep this dancing. Davis attempts to enhance Sharpe's position by disclosing graphic text that the plaintiff alleged sent to Sharpe, leading his statement with the two of them. While this will help when it comes to the PR battle, the case will apparently and inevitably come down to what the videos show, the one that has been given to Sharpe's lawyer and the unedited full version. If the videos point to a non-consensual encounter, she's far more likely to win. If the videos support the notion that the encounter was consensual, she's far more likely to lose. The only thing I'm disappointed in is they say she's far more likely to lose, as if there's nothing, like it doesn't, there's no consequences for what she's doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a win or lose situation. I mean, you're trying to destroy this man's reputation and all of that. So it shouldn't be just a lose. But go ahead.
Devil's advocate. You've already said it. You're 50 years old messing with 20-year-old women. I mean, so please hear me, people. I'm not perfect. I probably got 1,000 things wrong with me. So don't nobody take this hard. But if you're 50 years old and you can't find a 50-year-old woman, a 40-year-old woman, a late 30-year-old woman, you're picking children that are children,
I mean,
30
crying out
years
loud.
your senior. Again,
You're
I'm trying not to. It's hard to say something because you say something and then people are like, oh, well, you're saying you're doing it. I'm really not trying to be that mean, but we're trying to protect the character of a person who is literally picking people that are young enough to be his daughter, and they're not. It doesn't seem like they're in a relationship. It didn't seem like they were, at least from what we hear, because one thing, he is private. We don't know who he's dated. We don't know anything about. We know he has I believe he has a daughter. She came on Undisputed once. I think he has a daughter. So he's been fairly clean. He's not had too many accusations or anything like that. It's just there's it's just unfortunate.
No, I agree with you. And I think I hate to say it, Shannon Sharpe needs to find him a 35-year-old woman. They need to and say, hey, I like what you like what I like. Let's get together. And she just hold you down. Now, if y'all need to do a prenup, if y'all need to do some kind of arrangement ahead of time, but then you just hold it down. She holding you down, you holding her down, and be done and stop being out here in these streets. These streets are evil, wicked, and crazy. Get up in these suburbs and leave it alone.
And I think that's the common conversation when you get to be a person who has gotten $100 million contract. You're like, at that point, if you haven't found somebody when you were nobody, finding somebody when you've become something of this magnitude and had this much success, maybe that does not. And we're talking about a man who may or may not have faith. So I don't want to disparage his personal character, his decision making. I just know that when you get to this type of level of success with the experience and the money, all this stuff, that maybe he does feel like it's impossible to find somebody on his level, because you almost got to go out and find somebody. You almost got to go out and find somebody who got what you got. And at that point, then you're stuck with the notion of, well, can I trust this person? Can I trust that person? And we're just talking about a generic outside relationship. We're not talking about somebody who's being led of the faith, who could personally find somebody that would hold, like you said, hold you down. What are they holding down? What are they holding down though? The man just got a $100 million contract. He go find somebody who got $200 million, so they have to worry about this stuff.
Right.
He's not. He's clearly looking for people that don't.
Let me
go ahead.
Let me fix it up. Let me fix it up. Shannon Sharpe doesn't need an equal in this regard. He doesn't need somebody to be at $100 million. I mean, he needs somebody who can say, in my opinion, if I were making that, I wouldn't be looking primarily for somebody to make the same amount of money as me, but somebody that will be there for me. Life is rough out here in these streets. And so I'm not looking for somebody.
20-year-old though.
And it's not a 20-year-old. That's my point. It's not a 20-year-old. They out there causing the trouble. Right. I see you, Chicago. She out there causing the trouble. No. I'm looking for somebody that can hold me down, because I think we're losing track of the idea that marriage also is not only for the right now, but it is for in the future. Because I say this all the time. That woman that just pulled into the garage, she is going to be there either A, holding my hand with my eyes closed for the last time.
Facts.
A, holding my hand when my mom closes her eyes for the last time. God forbid something happened to the Dangerous crew, or I'll be there holding her hand when she closes her eyes for the last time. I am not primarily thinking about cheeks and all of that stuff. I mean, that's great now. But what I am focusing on is the fact that I'm married to somebody who's going to be with me till the end. Shannon, I'm sorry, man. You 4 years my senior, 5 years my senior. My dudes, get off the blue diamonds and get in church, my guy. Get saved and repent. Like, turn from, get off of that. Get off of that, because it clearly is not helping. See you in a second. Grace and peace.
Yeah.